When you get into real estate, you are now a business owner. You become a business owner, not just a real estate agent. And I work with a lot of real estate agents who find themselves in this place where their cost per lead is 30 to 40% of the income that they're bringing in before splits and broker fees. If you don't commit to social media with a long-term strategy, in 2024, social media is not going to work for your real estate business. The third and final strategy that I'm going to share that is not going to work for real estate agents in 2024 is if you have found your way here, you are a real estate pro who's ready to transition from chasing leads to getting dream clients to chase you. This podcast is where you will learn the business and system strategies you need to grow your real estate business so that you can get paid consistently, connect with dream clients, and keep your sanity. So I'm really excited to walk through the 3 strategies that are just straight up not going to be worth your time in 2024 for real estate agents. But before I do, I've got to give myself a quick plug because on March 13th, we have a brand new event, virtual and open to all real estate agents. It is totally free. It is our Level Up Your Real Estate Business Coaching Week. You heard that right. It is going to be 5 days of strategic coaching for real estate agents, totally free. All the details are in the show notes. You do need to register for it because it is happening inside a private Facebook group that you will need to have access to. So be sure to register and save your seat for free. I cannot wait to hang out with you starting on March 13th. We'll see you there. So let's talk about what strategies do and don't work for real estate agents in 2024. So if you didn't know, I have been a real estate agent full-time since 2014. So going on a decade here. And I have seen my share of changes in the industry. And the way that we do business today in real estate is so very different from how it was done even 5 years ago and certainly 10 years ago when I got into the business. And truly, even if we look back to the last 3 to 4 years post-pandemic, even then, those years have created so many challenges and so many changes in how we are expected to buy and sell real estate and interact with consumers. And so, of course, because those fundamentals have changed, so do the effectiveness of some of those tried and true real estate prospecting and lead generation strategies that you might have heard as you get into the real estate. So if you are a newer real estate agent, or if you have been a real estate agent for years and years now, and you're suddenly feeling like there's a lot more friction in your business and the way that you do things now isn't really working the way that it used to, I want to share with you why that is, in my opinion, and what we can do instead to continue growing our real estate business. One thing that I want to just kind of present to you is the idea that when you get into real estate, you are now a business owner, okay? You become a business owner, not just a real estate agent. And most of us understand this, but a lot of us might miss the implications of what this really means in a broader sense. And that's why I want to start the conversation here. As a business owner, part of the burden that you bring onto your shoulders, that you have to shoulder for your business, your team, your family, whoever you're supporting, part of that burden is taking on the responsibility to weather shifts and changes in whatever industry you are in. And we are not exempt from that in real estate. And I speak to real estate agents all the time, all throughout the week, because I have a coaching program where I'm literally coaching hundreds of real estate agents throughout the US and Canada of all different experience levels. One thing that I hear quite often are our more seasoned realtors, those who may have 10, 15, 20 years under their belt. And there's almost this sense of resentment because things have changed so rapidly for them in their real estate business that they feel like they have to go back to the basics. They are almost restarting their real estate business from square one. And for them, that's a really tough pill to swallow because they know that they have so much experience to offer and they feel as if it's being overlooked because of how strategies have changed. And so I just want to share with you that is a natural rhythm in owning and running a successful business. It is natural to have to pivot and to have to change and adapt and evolve. And surely the businesses who are not doing this well are the ones who get left in the dust. This is why we don't see blockbusters on every corner anymore, okay? As technology, as consumer interest and needs change, so must our services. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. If you are listening to this and hoping that I'm saying something other than what you're hearing now, I just want you to understand that it's natural to feel that resentment, but it's also something that we have to expect and accept as business owners. This is part of our responsibility to understand what is changing and pivot the way that we are meeting those expectations for the public and for those we serve. Okay, so that out of the way, here are the strategies that I think are not going to work very well in 2024 for real estate agents, and I'm going to share with you why. The first one that I want to share with you that I think is absolutely not going to work as well in a broader sense is cold calling. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I've got a little bit of beef with cold calling only because I am that classic millennial. I have a lot of call reluctance, or did when I got into the real estate industry. And I was really kind of bummed out when so many other agents in my office were only giving us advice of saying, well, if you want to get started, you need to find clients. And so you should probably cold call. That's what all agents do to kind of cut their teeth in the industry. And that was just something that was absolutely not going to work for me. And I tried it once or twice, and it was kind of a disaster. I was 21, 22 when I got into real estate, and I looked like I was 21, 22. I sounded like I was in my early 20s, right? And so it was not like I had a lot of presence and confidence or experience to work with. And so cold calling just fell flat for me. But besides my own personal vendetta against cold calling, I want to talk about what's actually happening in 2024. When was the last time you got a call that was flagged on your iPhone or whatever phone you're using, that was flagged on your smartphone as a spam call or a call that was unknown? It was probably within the last 24 hours, if I had to guess. Cold calling is going to become less and less effective over time, but particularly in 2024, because our call carriers, our networks that we have our phone carriers through, are so good at flagging spam calls and keeping them from even hitting our phones. And so even the best dialers who ensure that you can get that direct connection with the consumer, even the best dialers are going to see their success rates continue to fall. But the other thing that we need to consider is we are in an election year. It is 2024. And what happens in an election year? You have all kinds of crazy calls coming into your phone from pollsters, from people trying to get people registered to vote. Like, there's that extra layer of people vying for your phone attention. And because of that, people are going to be so much less likely to answer phone calls from those they don't know. And so we have to look at the general temperature of what's happening in the US and in the state of technology in general. And it is fair to say that today, cold calling is going to be way less effective than it would have been in, say, 2014. And so if you are a newer agent, or if you're an agent who's still trying to really find your stride or drum up new business, and you're getting a lot of that, oh, you should just cold call. That's what all the agents do. It's free and you can get a bunch of leads. Here's your call list. Yeah, I mean, it's going to keep you busy, but it's not going to be the most effective, highest converting way to generate leads. Now, are there some agents who do this extremely well? Absolutely. And if you are like absolutely all in on cold calling, then I can point you to the best in the business so that you can get those resources. But the fact of the matter is, I would say like 85% of the real estate agents out there just are not going to do this well enough or consistently enough for it to make sense to spend the time that it would take to be successful cold calling. And for that reason, that's why I'm giving it a big X out for 2024. Side note, one thing that you should know is the average conversion rates for cold calling is between like 1% and 2%. And so even the best of the best who are doing really, really well at cold calling are only getting like 1 to 2 contacts or prospects for every 100 they call, right? So it's not even like you're missing out on a huge treasure trove of people. More so, it's just that we need to take that time and attention and reallocate it somewhere where you're going to be more effectively spent. So the next lead source that I'm going to share with you should not sound, it shouldn't be super, super surprising, but maybe it will be. The next lead source I want to talk about are the portal leads. This is going to be the one that starts with a Z, the realtor.coms, these big box websites whose only goal in life is to data mine, get as much data as they can on the housing market, and then sell it to us at a cost per lead that is astronomical. Now, here's for whom it is not going to work in 2024, because again, just like all lead sources, there are some real estate agents out there, some teams who absolutely crush the Zillow game. And certainly you can be successful with online portal leads, okay? But when we're talking about long-term sustainable business, I argue that it is not going to be sustainable to have, for example, 70% of your business coming from a paid lead source. And I work with a lot of real estate agents who find themselves in this place where their cost per lead is 30 to 40% of the income that they're bringing in before splits and broker fees. Like if you're paying so much for leads that really are only converting at like 4%, which is typical of portal leads, and are taking a lot of time to get to the closing line, like get to the actual closing table, because you are competing against so many other real estate agents. In 2024, if you don't have the money and the systems to put behind that, it's not going to be a good bet for you. So the real estate agents who want to stay away from this, in my opinion, are the real estate agents who are like, man, my business is dead. 2023 was so hard. I just need some leads. I just need something to get me through. If that is your mindset and you don't have any other systems in place in your real estate business, you are not going to be happy with that investment. I've seen it time and time again, and I've worked with too many real estate agents to get them back on track after sinking in hundreds of dollars per month, thousands of dollars per month into these portal leads with no return. If you are a real estate agent who is brand new and you're trying to build up your business and it is just kind of presented to you as an opportunity to go and purchase portal leads, this is not what you want to be doing in 2024. Again, it's not going to be sustainable, because if you are not putting these other systems in place in your real estate business, what's going to happen is as soon as you cut off that line to the portal leads, your business is going to just sputter to a halt. You're not going to have anything to replace it. Now, the third type of real estate agent that needs to stay away from these leads, in my opinion, is the agent who is like the only thing they can offer is speed to lead. If all you know how to do is open doors really fast for someone who's standing outside of the house that they want to see, and you don't know how to differentiate yourself against other real estate agents that they are almost certainly interacting with, then your conversion is not going to be great on Zillow leads. You're going to get blown off. People are going to use you for your time and then not actually transact with you. And it's going to be really demoralizing and just a very challenging experience. The reason why this happens is Zillow and realtor.com, like these search sites, again, while they can be really successful for some agents, they're able to charge what they charge per lead because it is assumed that they are going onto these sites to look for a home that they are qualified and ready to purchase. So specifically what you're paying for is a quick win, a short transaction. You are paying these giants for contact information for people who are ready to purchase within 30 to 90 days. That's why they are able to charge what they charge, because these leads have a very high level of intent. If somebody is trying to get in front of a real estate agent to go look at a house that they want to purchase, that indicates a high level of intent, which is why those leads cost as much as they do. Now, if that individual is already there, if they are ready to purchase a home, they have likely spent the last 6 to 12 months gathering research on the internet, talking to friends and family about this process, probably interacting with other real estate agents before they get in front of you. And if you don't know how to solidify that relationship with that client as quickly as possible and stand out from the other ones that they've spoken to, then you're going to have a really hard time of closing that sale because they don't have any trust factor with you. They don't have a high level of commitment, and they don't really understand why they should hire you over a competitor. So again, yes, you're paying for something that like could be a sure thing, and likely these people will end up transacting, but the question is whether or not they're going to transact with you and feel any sort of obligation to, right? And even further to the point, we don't want clients who just feel obligated to work with us. We want clients who are excited to work with us and who are honored to work with us, right? Because they know that we're going to give them the highest level of respect, the highest level of service. That is going to completely change the dynamic of that transaction. And you're just, unless you have the right systems in place or massive brand appeal as a team in your area, you're just not going to have that built into that relationship. Okay, so this one's gonna come out of left field a little bit, and you might hear me say this and think, what the what, Stephanie? But just hang on with me. The third and final strategy that I'm going to share that is not going to work for real estate agents in 2024 is social media marketing. I know, as like the social media gal, I know this sounds absolutely crazy, but just stick with me here because I'm going to share with you how you can make it work for you. So if you are a real estate agent and you have finally come around to the importance of showing up on social media, but you've never really done it before and you don't really understand social media, and if you don't commit to social media with a long-term strategy, in 2024, social media is not going to work for your real estate business. It might give you a sense of brand awareness, right? So that is an important aspect of social media marketing. And one of the goals of social media marketing, to be specific here, is just being able to be found on social media. So yes, you want to be found. You want people to look you up on social media if they were referred to you and see that you are a real person and a producing real estate agent who shares in the values that are important with them. That's a huge component of the effectiveness of social media. But if you're straight up getting onto social media because you see the fresher, newer real estate agents in your office who are crushing it on social media and you want a bite of that action, and so this is your year to totally pivot to social media, you're not going to be happy. Unless you're going in and ready to spend money on like production and the coaching and support staff to help you actually fulfill this at a high level, social media does not need to be the thing that you give up everything else for. One thing that I see quite often are very seasoned real estate agents who are like 15, 20 years in the business, and they've been successful up until now because of referral and repeat business. But they feel like they have to really get into the social media side of things to stay competitive. I'm just here to tell you, if you're taking care of your database well enough and continuing to grow that through face-to-face networking and getting belly to belly with people who understand the value of your expertise, you do not need to be dancing around on social media just because you feel like you have to. Now, are there really great uses for social media aside from lead generation? Absolutely. And brand awareness, like I mentioned earlier, is one of them, and you want to be leaning into that. But I don't want you to think that in 2024, to be a relevant real estate agent, you have to be posting every single day on social media. That is not correct. If you have other lead sources that are high converting and working well for you, then you need to make sure that you are taking care of those before diving into something new, because social media in 2024 is going to take a while to ramp up for you if you're doing it for the first time. Now, on average, what I like to see is leads coming into a new social media brand within 3 to 6 months. That means you need to pick a long-term posting strategy that's going to work for you on social media and stick to it for 3 to 6 months before you even begin to question whether or not it's working for you. The reason for that is because in 2024, there are so many voices on social media. There are so many real estate agents. There are so many people creating content and adding to the noise that unless you are very consistent and very specific in how you are crafting your marketing message on social media, then you're not going to stand out as well as you could. And so you won't see the effectiveness there. And because of that, I'm saying 2024, social media, unless it's done right, and truly at any time, but especially in 2024, unless it's done right, it is not going to work for you this year. You have to have the right mindset, the right tools, and the right strategy to achieve the goals that you are setting for yourself with social media in your real estate business. Okay, so let's talk about the strategies that are going to work in 2024. And I've got like one or two that we really need to be focusing on. In 2024, what is going to matter most to people is a personalized human touch. This is the year of automation, right? There are so many automated bots and chat tools that are happening on Instagram and these different social media platforms. And I think that when it comes down to it, the real estate agents who are going to win and see a lot of growth in their business, those are the agents who are creating a very personalized touch. So the first place this happens, of course, is with your referrals. Okay, if you are not seeing like a 10 to 15% return on your referrals, meaning for every 100 people in your database or in your SOI, you should be seeing 10 to 15 deals per year from that group. If you are not seeing that, then you need to go harder and deeper in with that group of people. You don't need to be looking at other lead sources until you have that in place. Now, that means you are speaking to your people regularly. You are showing up to serve them, even if it's after the transaction, and really focusing on nurturing those relationships. I think people are so burnt out on the automation and the space that they're feeling from each other from the digital space, that if you are having a lot of that face-to-face time with them and deeper connection, they're going to be way more likely to refer you at a higher level. So that's taking care of people and nurturing relationships. Number one, that's a strategy that is going to absolutely dial in for real estate agents in 2024. The second strategy I want to share that is going to really hit home for us is a personalized approach to the client transaction and to the marketing that you're putting out. So what do I mean by that? We have to think about the client transaction and every touch point through that transaction. It is really not enough anymore to just be there and facilitating a transaction like we were in 21 and 22. In 2021, 2022, the market was happening so quickly that we were just there to facilitate, right? People were trying to purchase and sell so fast that we weren't really able to create a conscientious client journey for the individuals that we were serving. It was happening too fast for it to make sense to do that. Honestly, more than anything, we were just trying to stay out of the way of transactions closing. But now today, that's not the case. We have a lot more time and space to create a very well thought out client journey for our buyers and sellers. And so I want you to start thinking about every touch point that you have with your clients. Are you really taking a lot of care on the introductory phase? Heyo. That means from the moment they meet you for the first time to the moment they really commit to you, like by signing that employment agreement, what does that process look like? What are you giving them as a welcome? Are you giving them like a beautifully branded welcome guide? Are you sharing helpful resources to serve them on their journey? Are you meeting them where they're at instead of just trying to shove them into a house, right? And then during the transaction, similarly, how are you making every single step of the way a high value experience for them? After the close, are you piecing out after you get paid, not to hear from them again for 3 years? Or are you actually walking them through a very intentional post-close journey where you're taking care of them after the sale? For me and my business, our work begins at the closing table because we want all of those referrals that are going to come from after the sale. And so really think about that mindset and think about that strategy and how that might look for your business in 2024. Because I'm telling you right now, the real estate agents who are creating an absolutely personalized experience for their database and focusing on their relationships and taking that exact same amount of care and thoughtfulness and placing it into their client journey with their clients, those are the agents who are going to see massive success. And what's great about that too is it's a lot more fun and a lot more cost-effective of a way of doing business than dealing with cold calling or portal leads or messing around on social media and not seeing any leads come of it. So that is my challenge to you. I want you to think about how you might be able to shift your attention a little bit to how you are interacting with your clientele, how you're interacting with social media marketing, how you're really showing up each day, and making sure that your attention is in the right place so that your efforts can return back to you tenfold. That's what I want for you in 2024. And by the way, if you need a little bit of help in this area and you're not sure where your focus needs to be, I actually have a brand new quiz on my brand new website that is going to walk you through 60 seconds of some quick analysis questions. And it's going to help you determine exactly where you need to be focusing on your real estate business in 2024. That might be exactly what you need to really level up. So check that out. And the other thing that I want to mention is if you're listening to this and you're thinking, wow, I need to be way more intentional about how I'm running my real estate business this year, then guess what? I have a really cool event that I want to invite you to. It is called the Level Up Your Real Estate Business Coaching Week. It is a totally free coaching week available to real estate agents everywhere. It is virtual. It's happening in a private Facebook event group. It is going to be so much fun, and it's going to cover 5 days of quick and dirty coaching that is going to give you incredible, fast results in your real estate business. And during that time, we're also going to be doing some fun giveaways and prizes along the way for those who are participating. So check out the show notes of this episode. I would love to hang out with you live. We are starting on March 13th in the private Facebook group, and you do need to register on our list to get access to that group. Otherwise, it's totally free, and I'm super excited to hang with you through this live coaching week. All right, my friends, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, keep on crushing it.